Good to see you.
Good to see you
too. How are tricks?
Things are well. Things are well. Life's good.
I would say you need to have a word with your agent. I'm not entirely sure that interviews outdoors in the middle of January are your thing, are they? But
well, yeah, I actually would have preferred it indoors with a nice cup of tea.
You and me both. Fireside with a scotch would have been good.
I mean, I thought, Joe would have provided some, like a fire log cabin,
We'll get onto it. We'll get onto it, I can assure you. First things first, I spoke to James on the way up, who sends his love, and just wanted to know how much you're missing him, if at all.
I'm missing him dearly, but obviously he's not missing me just as much because I didn't get the invite to his wedding, so...
You and me both again. I think it was obviously quite a select affair. I'm surprised you didn't get it, because it was in Hello, and I would imagine your star power would have pulled in a few more subscribers for them.
Yeah, I'm not quite, I'm more like... Tatler kind of.
You are, which is on the list of things I want to talk to you about, actually. So what I thought we'd do, I always think you can tell a lot about a man from his Twitter timeline. I thought we'd just cast back through a few of the things that you've been actively popping out on social media. First things first, in your bio, a lot of people will know that you are known as the Pearl.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure everyone will know why you're known as the Pearl and where it came from.
Okay, so you start with that?
Let's start with that.
Well, I was known as the Pearl because I think in a Saracens Christmas party, I wore a white / cream turtleneck. Then,
which is a bold statement.
Well, depends if you can rock it.
That is very true. Do you back yourself in that department?
With turtlenecks, that's my area of expertise.
Your thing.
So,
right.
I could rock it, so I was looking fresh. So anyway, one of my teammates came up to me, Jackson Ray, was like, "Oh, Maro, you're looking like the Pearl." He said, "The Black Pearl."
And it's stuck and it works.
Then people started calling me the Black Pearl. Then I think it got a little bit too PC, so...
Right, so just back to the Pearl.
Back to the Pearl, and I like it.
And are you still known as that? You're known around the club?
People still call me the Pearl. I was like, sometimes don't always add the. Sometimes just Pearl.
Yeah.
I like it. It's
interesting you mentioned the white and the cream as well, because one of the things that Hask was talking about on the phone call was a night out in Marbella where you turned up in ice white from top to toe. Is this a fond... I think open neck shirt, he said, tight white ice trousers. Again, a look that you're confident you carried off?
It was. I'm pretty sure you could even find that picture on my Instagram or Twitter.
We'll go digging.
I think it was good, but there's a caveat to that. It was an all white party.
Okay.
It was an all white. So everyone was.
So you were in dress.
So I was in code.
Very good. You mentioned Tatler as well.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable on the pages of a glossy magazine, a high society glossy magazine? Yeah. Natural hangout?
Yeah, well, it was cool. It was definitely interesting. Definitely different to the day job.
So what did it involve? Because the cover I saw, you were on a beach with a very glamorous lady,
Amelia Windsor.
Amelia Windsor. Yeah. Who was a contact before the shoot, or
no. I met her there for the first time.
And why did they put you and her together?
I actually don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I think they were going for like a sports, like fashion kind of mix.
Society blend.
And they chose me and they chose her. So. And
what did the shoot involve? And are you sort of natural in those environments, or was there a bit of... I mean, can you work the camera, Blue Steel style?
Well, I tried.
Yeah, looking good.
So it was on the beach. It was just like different shots on the beach. It was Canberra Sands. It took me about 5 hours to get there, so right. it was a long old way away. But it was just like different shoots on the beach, and but it was cool. It was fun.
Good reception from teammates?
I got a lot of stick.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me.
But it didn't surprise me either, to be fair. But it was good. It was well received in general.
Good. Looking very good. Well done.
Thank you.
Lots of retweets of BBC Africa. Are you quite engaged in African politics?
Well, I'm of African descent, but I'm Nigerian. Both my parents are Nigerian, so I visit Nigeria I try to at least once every year. This year might be a little bit different because of what's happening, but I'm quite engaged, or I like to think I'm quite engaged in the workings and what's going on the continent. I studied politics at the School of Oriental and African Studies, so there was a strong...
Have you finished that now?
I finished that, yeah.
What did you get?
Got a 2-1.
Strong.
I got a 2-1.
Strong.
Yeah.
Are you studying at the moment, anything?
I've actually just finished. I did this 10-week short course at LSC. It was this like online MBA kind of thing, which I just finished. I finished it in the autumn, actually.
Because Saracens are quite keen on you guys having extracurricular.
Yeah. I think it's compulsory now for
Is that right?
for young guys who come in.
I love the way you say young guys when you are
24.
24, right.
But I'm
old and mature and wise.
But I'm middle-aged now.
Yeah, true that.
In my rugby career, I'm the start of middle age. So, you've got to enjoy it while you can.
So you're obviously collecting academic qualifications. Have you got any idea? 24. You've got a long time yet.
Yeah,
but are you starting to look at what might come next?
I think so. I have a little bit. I think it'll probably be. The world is full of opportunities and full of things to do. I think post rugby, probably something business related.
Okay.
One of the people I love Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Magic Johnson, obviously, he was a former basketball player and now a very successful businessman. And I followed him. I've read a lot about him and watched a lot of his interviews, and I think he's showed a perfect model of how to transition from elite level performance in sport into being a very successful businessman, and he's done it what appears from the outside seamlessly, but obviously with everything, nothing is straightforward, and you have to put the work in if you want to get the results. Why
Johnson over Jordan? Because they were the two, weren't they?
Yeah, so I think Magic Johnson, because if we're talking about in terms of basketball, I think probably Jordan is superior. But in terms of transition and in terms of like impact, I would prefer Magic Johnson, because Michael Jordan, I think he gained his incredible amount of wealth. Not to say that he's not business savvy, but mainly due to he was extremely successful, arguably the greatest of all time in terms of basketball, and with his Jordans, and that gave him a platform and gave him opportunities to expand and grow, and I think he's maybe the first billion dollar.
There's a target for you.
Got to aim somewhere.
Yeah, you have indeed.
And the reason why I have Magic Johnson, because he actually, and I may be wrong again, but from what I've read, he actually went out and negotiated and did business deals. He did a deal with Starbucks, and he learned about business whilst he was playing, and through his connections that the Lakers were able to give him, and he learned, and then when he got into a position where he was retiring, he didn't have, I'm sure he had a sponsorship and all that kind of stuff, so he would have been had money regardless, but he was able to grow and become a businessman, negotiating deals which were completely separate to basketball. He did this thing with some cinemas and movie theaters in African American neighborhoods and societies, and he was very successful at the back of that. And it seems as if he's grown and grown and grown as time has gone on.
The man's a legend. Interesting, you tweet a lot about NBA. Do you follow it closely?
I follow personalities and the individuals rather than the teams.
So who have you got your eye on at the moment?
I follow LeBron.
Yeah.
I think pretty much everyone does, to be honest.
True.
I follow LeBron. I follow James Harden, Russell Westbrook. I also follow quite a few of the old guard per se,
legends.
like Charles Barkley. He's a bit of a character. Shaq, Magic Johnson, of course, and players and those. I feel as if with American sports, they make awesome documentaries.
They do.
They make awesome dramatic documentaries, and it just entices you. I went through a stage where I was watching ESPN 30 for 30 like very regularly, just because just make it seem that interesting. Like, I'm not a huge fan of baseball or American football, but I could quite easily sit down and, you know,
Those
watch
America's Game documentaries.
Yeah, I quite easily sit down and watch those things. And when you get into it, you get attracted to some of the outlandish personalities that they have there.
So your agent calls you and he says, I've got you a deal with an American sport. Would you want him to be saying you're going to the NBA or you're going to the NFL?
If I had the choice,
where would you back yourself the most?
well, I think if you were gonna go, I'm not gonna go. But if you,
We're trying to get a headline. Itoje off to America.
if you, okay, if
Hypothetically speaking.
hypothetically speaking, if I had the choice and I could do both really well, I would choose the NBA. Because indoors, normal cold weather.
I'll be following that.
You don't have to worry about rain. I don't like the mud. You don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I choose the NBA, and I enjoy watching the NBA probably more so than American football. But if it's taken me as I am now, it'll probably be NFL.
Okay. That is our headline. Itoje, I don't like mud. You're in the wrong game. Quite a lot about boxing as well. Fury, Joshua, Wilder. Who'd you put your pound on?
I had to put money on my Nigerian brother, Anthony Joshua.
Have you met him?
I've met him a couple of times. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. I think it's tight. I think Joshua will beat Wilder easy.
Yeah.
I think it will beat Wilder. I think Joshua will beat Fury, but because Fury's so awkward, it'll be tough. I think Fury's awkward, he's elusive, but I think the difference, like watching the Wilder-Fury fight, like Wilder is, I'm no expert, but from what I saw, Wilder obviously has a very heavy hand, and if he hits you, you're gonna go down, and that's what happened to Fury. But he's not much of a boxer.
Yeah.
Whereas AJ is a boxer. He's quite smart. He's a smart boxer, and he's heavy-handed as well. So if he does hit you, you're gonna feel it as well. So I think Fury will struggle against. That's actually the fight I want to see. I actually don't really want to see Wilder Joshua. I want that to happen. That's because I want Joshua
on the way to Joshua and Fury.
I think Joshua Fury. I think that would be a hell of a fight.
You think Brexit divides the nation? That would be quite something, wouldn't it? Which camp you're in? If you were to put Anthony Joshua into a Saracens shirt, what number would you put on the back of it? Because he often gets picked as which guy would you like to see come into the game?
Rugby. What not?
Do you think a 6, 12?
Either a 12 or a forward. I think he'll be good at just hitting something.
Yeah.
Hitting things. So I think
they would stay hit.
Six line out
possibly.
forward.
Interesting that you picked up on the Raheem Sterling tweet. Do you admire his stance and
I think
what he's done?
I think it's very admirable what he's done. I think him specifically, he's been subject to that kind of coverage throughout his career, and it almost seems as if why they always picking on him.
Yeah.
He's been subject to that kind of I don't even know how to describe it, like abuse, more like it almost seems like a playground kind of bully type thing. He's going about his business playing football, but they're holding him to a higher standard than every other player on the pitch. And I think that the two articles he showed up, he just highlights that. And I actually don't think that's only. Oh, it's starting to rain.
You chose the venue, not me. I can just put that on the record.
I think what he said is stands for wider coverage of people in general. So I think often the case when you talk about let's say crimes that have been committed, sometimes a lot of the time they'll say black gangster from I don't know, Tottenham murdered, estranged, poor.
It's all labels.
Yeah, whereas if it was the other way, they'll say male 18 from Dagenham murdered, was killed by this. So the way they frame it is, I think, it speaks something about how the media covers things on a wider level, not just in football.
Do you think rugby is free of the ills that Sterling draws his attention to? Not as bad, but there.
I don't think it's. I wouldn't say it's free. I think is probably not as bad. I think rugby is a lot more progressive than football in many ways. I went to watch Arsenal Tottenham a couple of weeks ago, and it was absolutely like the fans. I'm an Arsenal fan, and both sets of fans were absolutely disgusting. I remember, so Tottenham scored, it was at the Emirates, Tottenham scored, and about 4 or 5 rows of Tottenham fans leaning towards, which were on the side of where the Arsenal fans were, rushed to the barricade and started swearing, taunting, abusing the Arsenal fans. They weren't even watching the celebration, they were just trying to get a reaction. Then, I'm not to say the Arsenal fans weren't without any blame, they gave their own fair share back, and coming from a rugby environment, that's just is unfair. You can't really think of it. You can't really fathom that kind of behaviour in rugby. So I think rugby is a lot more progressive than football, but I think it can. There's still a lot that can be improved.
Game of Thrones, massive fan?
Game of Thrones.
Do you? Because
it's the best show on TV.
Full stop.
It's honestly the best show on TV. I'm actually, like, the new season's coming out, and it's in April, and there's very few shows that, like, I'm eagerly anticipating it happening. Like, I saw a little bit of a trailer for it, and I was just like, oh my goodness. I started rewatching some of the episodes to prepare myself.
Really?
For it. Yeah.
You're that big a fan?
I'm a GOT fan. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I do watch Game of Thrones, yeah. It's absolutely incredible.
Oh God, I recently watched when the mountain popped Oberyn's head.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
One? I had to skip past the Red Wedding. It was too emotional for me.
Oh, Lord.
I couldn't go through it all over again.
Hold on tight when it comes.
Yeah.
I just also want to ask you about Billy, who's obviously come out and said the game now is more brutal than ever. Is that something you relate to? Do you think you're playing the game now that perhaps you predicted you'd be playing 5 or 6 years ago? Or at times do you have to hang on a bit?
Well, I wouldn't like to describe it hanging on.
But do you know what I mean? I mean, physically. I mean, I know you. I just mean it in terms of the sort of the physicality of it.
Yeah, rugby, I think, is becoming much more physical. But I think that's the trend. It's always been. I think if you look at since the game turned professional, compared to early 2000s compared to 2010 compared to now, that's the trend the game's going. Like, players are becoming bigger, they're becoming more physical, more athletic, and the result of that is becoming more brutal. The collisions are bigger, the risk of injury is more severe. So that's just the way the game's going.
Keep dominating. I'm going to give our viewers 3 guesses as to who we're here with today. Not sure if anyone can tell. Given the badge you're wearing and given what's behind us. Did you pass your driving test first time?
I didn't.
You didn't?
But
is that pretty much the only failure that's happened in your life so far?
Pretty
How many
much.
times did you take to pass?
I passed second time. But I feel if you need to experience failure to like in life, you need to experience some failure. So I'm happy I didn't pass first time, because I wasn't safe. Truly and honestly, I wasn't safe to be on the road first time round.
You are now?
I'm very safe. Yeah, very safe.
I've thoroughly
Did you pass first time?
I did, yes. Full marks in my driving theorem as well.
Oh.
But that's about the only thing I've ever done with any great success. Always a pleasure. Maro, thank you so much. When are you coming on House of Rugby?
Very soon. Very soon.
Correct answer.